if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'm in my 20s and it's just so ghetto here and I don't know what to do and I'm just always losing it and I'm like trying to balance a million things, but focus on me, but focus on God, but focus on family and build relationships and then friendships and then leave my house, but also focus on my wellness, but also become an influencer, but also build my career. Like, it's just a lot. All in all, it's always a lot. And so I decided to really dig deep and come up with some things that I do that I feel like have been keeping me sane. So hey babes, welcome back to my channel. It's Christelle. I hope you're well. And today we're getting into some micro habits that I'm using to stay sane in my 20s, y'all. I am turning 25 in 2 months, God willing, and I feel like I'm having an awakening. I have quite a few tips that I'm going to get into, not in any particular order, but I think they're all valuable. So I hope you stay and watch the entire video. Definitely check the chapters below and just know that I'm not perfect, but I am doing my best. And I feel like if you're clicking this video, you're also trying to do your best. So I'm proud of you if nobody's told you lately. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Also, I'm applying for Sephora Squad, so if you find this video impactful or authentic or inspiring, definitely please leave me a testimonial. I'm not one that says one thing and does the other. If you want the evidence that I do these things, you should definitely follow me on Instagram and TikTok at thatgirlchristelle. But let's get into the video. Morning routine or a morning reset, y'all. I fear that the girlies were right. Successful people have routines. You can't get around the fact that you need a routine. And I don't know who I'm speaking to, but it's like, stop being like, yeah, I need a morning routine, I need a night routine, I need to, you know, go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. Like, stop saying that and actually do it. How about that? You know? Also, I have my notes here, so I'll be referencing them. A lot of people say to avoid social media first thing in the morning, but it's hard to not be on your phone when you use your alarm on your phone. So something that's been helping me is getting like a Hatch dupe, because I was not about to spend all that money, but getting like a little Amazon clock. I love it because it's like a nightlight. It has like a LED thing setting, and then it has a sunrise setting, and then it'll slowly brighten up your room. And then like I arise, that sounds so weird, but like my alarm is on the clock, so I don't have to go on my phone, and it's like the sound of birds. Like, there's so many options. I want to say it's like 30 like options or something, so I would definitely recommend that. If I'm in bed but I want to wake myself up, I'll do like my daily devotional or like my Jesus calling devotional. I think it's so important to start your day with God. Like, you know, I know not everybody watching this might be a believer, but for me, I have kind of backslid, or I was backsliding into just scrolling on social media. And number one, it's just like, why would you want to start your day on social media? Like, you don't know, like for me, I was like looking at my video performance, or like, oh, I have all these comments to respond to, or like, oh my gosh, like this person is pregnant or this person is engaged. Like, why would you want to, or like all the crazy things happening in the world, like why would you want to start your day with that? Instead, I start my day with the peace version of Jesus calling, because I struggle with anxiety. I'm not afraid to admit it, but I'm overcoming it because, you know, I have somebody who cares and I can cast all my cares on him. So starting my day with my devotional and then getting up, and then, you know, trying to like do my best. Y'all, this is a game changer to actually get ready for the day. So do your skincare. I really used to be an affirmations girly down. Like, I would say that I won a pageant in undergrad and my platform was on the power of positivity, positive thinking, and affirmations. Like, I haven't done them in a while, but this is your sign, like, to incorporate that into your routine. Putting on a little makeup, not too much, you know, click a little concealer blush moment. Wear a little perfume for you. Put on an actual outfit, y'all. Don't just walk around in your pajamas. I know it's really easy to do that, and if you're working from home or you're down and out, and I understand because I've been there, it might seem pointless to put on clothes, but I'm telling you, like, the little things like matter. Getting cute for yourself will make you feel better. Starting off your morning looking good, I'm telling you, when you look good, you feel better, period. So that's my like micro habit. I know that was like a whole bunch of things, but I feel like the overall thing was have a morning routine, or like things like, I guess, I don't know if y'all are seeing the dopamine menu trend on TikTok. These are like little micro habits that you can incorporate in your morning routine to start your day off right. So let's get into micro habit number 2. That is mindful movement, y'all. I speak about this on my channel all the time. I definitely recommend you check out that playlist of mine with like my wellness, my 75 hard, my 75 soft, like just my wellness journey. I've been very transparent on here. Like, I've had to completely switch my approach to weight loss. It used to start from a really unhealthy place, a place of self-hate, a place of like, ugh, I just need to get this weight off me. And now I'm focused on being mindful, very mindful of why I'm moving my body. It's because I love my body. It's because I want to be healthy. It's because I deserve to live in a healthy body, and I want to be able to be flexible and like, you know, mobile in my older age. So it's just like completely changing my mindset and getting creative in the way I move my body. Like, I love the gym, and I'm blessed that I'm one of those people that the gym is not a problem for me. But you know, you don't have to be a gym person. You could take walks, you could dance, you can skate, you could do yoga, you can do Pilates, you can do pickleball, you could do like, you could walk around the mall. Like, there's so many different ways to be mindful and to move your body. I also like when I have a slower morning and I have some time, there's this one video, I'll try to link it in the description, where it's like a 10-minute morning stretch. I love that video. Like, it's a really good stretch, slows down your morning, and it's literally like, there's a, like, she asks you like, what's your intention for the day, like what type of day do you want to have, like embrace that and embody that, and just using that time to practice mindfulness as well as move my body. It's just like, it's a blessing, and it's like definitely something that, it's just 10 minutes. Like, if you could scroll for 10 minutes, you can stretch for 10 minutes, you can think positively for 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could shut off all distractions for 10 minutes. If you can't do 10, do 5. If you can't do 5, do 1. I'm just saying, like, that's the whole thing. Like, you have to make, like, find pockets of time for yourself if you're gonna stay sane in your 20s and in life in general. Micro habit number 3, y'all. Brain dump. Brain dump, brain dump, brain dump. There's so much that can get stuck in your head. There's so much all the time, right? And so if it gets stuck in your head, it can manifest itself in anxiety. We don't want that. Get it out of your head and onto the paper. Write it out on a journal. If you don't want to, like, I struggle because when I don't journal, because I already know, like, I have so many thoughts. I'm such a thought daughter, y'all. Like, I'm a yapper, certified yapper, and a thought daughter. So like, for me, journaling can be overwhelming. But when I write it down, I feel like that's like the most, like, that's my most like mind to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like I get the most benefits out of physically journaling, but it can be tiring. So with that, it's just like, brain dumps don't have to be physically writing. You could use your iPad if you have one. You could type it out on your laptop. A voice note to yourself. You could do a video diary to yourself. Just like, get it out of your head and somewhere else. Transfer it because you need to release. I also like to start my days with this because I'm just like, okay, this is everything I want to do. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I just have 20 things to do today. And it's like, okay, no, let's be realistic. Let's see what can be done today. What's the priority today? What can be shifted to tomorrow? What can be shifted to next week? Like, brain dump, get it out of your head so that it doesn't give you stress and anxiety, and like, seeing it on a page or on your computer or whatever will help. It can be overwhelming to see just like literally everything you have to do, but you can't hide behind the like, oh, like, I just have so much to do. Like, it might be a lot, but you need to see it so that you can actually make a game plan and then start to tackle your to-do list one by one. Brain dumping is so vital. Like, it's like, if it was all in my head, I would literally be losing it. So, you know, something to think about. For me, self-sabotage isn't always in the most obvious ways. Like, I feel like when we think about self-sabotage, you might think of relationships that you intentionally do the opposite of what you feel because you're afraid of actually getting to know somebody or whatever. I feel like that's what I think about when I think of self-sabotage. But I've learned that intentionally, like, sneakily trying to make yourself fail because you're afraid to succeed can be a form of self-sabotage. I could talk about this all the time. You might be afraid of success because that means change, and you might not like change. Because imagine if you actually had your dream job, if you actually had your dream body, if you actually had your dream whatever, like, that would mean that you wouldn't have the identity you have now, and it would be like, oh wait, so I'm not the, I don't know. Like, for me, I feel like I struggle with this in a lot of different areas. I don't even want to go too deeply into examples. All I'm saying is, like, if you are, you know, becoming that girl and you want to be more productive and you have a list of 50 things on your to-do list, and then you're like, oh, I didn't get everything done, I'm so like lazy or unmotivated. It's like, babe, you put 50 things on your to-do list and you thought you were gonna get them all done in 5 hours after work. It's like, we need to start being more realistic, more honest with ourselves, and realize that overloading yourself and putting too much on your plate and then being sad that you didn't finish everything is a form of self-sabotage. And I really want you to break free of that cycle. Be more realistic. You'll get it done. You'll succeed. So your success is inevitable, and I will say that until I'm blue in the face. Your success is inevitable as long as you keep showing up and being, it's like a mixture of being realistic, giving yourself grace, but also dreaming big and being delusional. So once you find that happy medium, which I know is hard, like, you'll get there. So that's that. So, micro habit number 4. This has been highly requested, and I feel like I saw another creator on here. I feel like her name is Badja. She called it an evidence portfolio, I think, and I'm calling it a proof of life portfolio. If you've seen a reset by me, you see me do this. So basically, y'all, this is something I created on Canva. I don't know if I can create a template. I will link that below, but it's really easy to create by yourself. I don't know if you're familiar with Spotify Wrapped. Team Spotify over Apple every time. But at the end of the year, they give you like a wrap of your music, like, you know, the artists you listen to, your favorite songs, your favorite albums, your genres. Like, it's just a really insightful thing. Like, and I love music, so I just love Spotify Wrapped. And so I was like, oh, like, I should do that every month. And so I feel like at the end of last year, I did it for the entire year, and it was so tiring. So I decided this year I was going to do it month to month. So basically every month, at the end of the month, or like, you know, as I'm doing my monthly reset, I will go through my camera roll and search the month of the year, and then I'll look at all my pictures, because that will help me to bring back to remembrance everything that I did, like who I did it with. Usually, like, the template had like 3 pictures, but y'all, I'm what is it, a maximalist? So some of my slides have like 20 pictures, and then I do like my top 3 call outs of the month, like how many workouts I did, like something good that happened, or just like anything that like stood out for the month, like good, bad, ugly, whatever, hopefully good. I would put that on there, and then I would also have like a paragraph reflection. I know that might sound like a lot, but it was just kind of like a more fun, more aesthetic version of a brain dump, but for every month, so that at every month, like, I can go back and see, like, it's a live document of like what I've been doing, who I've been doing it with. It's so nice to see, because sometimes, I don't know, like, if you struggle to remember things, or if you feel like you're boring, or if you feel like you're not doing enough, just going back and literally looking at what you do, it'll either be like, oh my gosh, no, I actually did stuff, or it'll be like, oh wow, like, maybe I should go out more. Like, it's just a good reflective tool, and I feel like it also is just a beautiful way for me to like document, but also, like, you know, speak into existence the things that I want to see, because at the end of every quarter I do a reflection of the quarter, and then like I write down my expectations of the next quarter, my intentions. So yeah, I absolutely love this. Again, if I can create a template or link my template, I will below, so let me know. I know a lot of people have been asking me how to do it. It's just Canva. I'm a Canva connoisseur, and shameless plug, I have a whole entire business, Creatively Christelle. I have a content corner for my content girlies who want to level up their content or need help with, you know, like thumbnails, stuff like that, or if you just want to get better with social media marketing for you, yourself, or your brand, I help with that. So check out my website at creativelychristelle.com, and then yeah, no gatekeeping here, period. This is kind of controversial, but I've seen a lot more people talk about it recently, and that is decentering men and dating. So I feel like it's easy for me to do this because I am almost 25, and I've actually never really dated like at all. So it's easy for me to do that when I'm not censoring it in the first place. But in another sense, maybe I have been censoring it in the fact that it's something that I want to experience. I feel like I deserve to experience, and yeah, I'm not gonna apologize for that. But I also realized that when I take a really, really deep dive and an inventory of the relationships that I see around me, 9.9 out of 10 times, I want no parts in that. And it's, you know, a cliche. Like, everybody's been telling me, like, oh, your time will come, like, it'll happen when you least expect it. The one that really gets me is, oh, you're not missing anything. And it's like, I want that. I want to find out for myself, like, because it sucks. Like, it literally sucks. You meet up with the girlies for Taco Tuesday, and everybody's talking about their roster, and you're just like, well, and it's like, I guess, you know, like, in a sense, like, my therapist is like, oh, you're winning, like, you don't have the heartbreak, you don't have, you know, the betrayal, you don't have, and I just hate that that's so normalized, and that a lot of people aren't experiencing fruitful relationships. But you know, it would be nice to, like, you know, I've learned to love my own company, but it does get lonely sometimes, and I don't think that me saying that it gets lonely sometimes means that I don't love myself. Like, I do any and everything alone. I go on solo dates, I go on solo dinners, I go to the movies solo, I can travel solo, I have gone to a concert solo, and that one was a big one for me. I'm like, I don't mind doing these things alone, but I feel like it would be so nice to have that romantic whatever. But it's just like, I can't afford to be like, oh my gosh, I wish this would happen, like, why won't it happen for me, like, am I, like, what's wrong with me, like, I can't do it anymore. I don't have the energy to be like, oh, like, why is nobody choosing me? I know I've been chosen by God, I know I'm worth it, I know in due time. But again, when you're almost 25 and you haven't had the basic level of romantic experiences that I feel like everybody else has in freaking middle school, high school, college, grad school, which I've been through, it's just like, oh, like, And it's the thing is like, if you don't get it, you don't get it. So you might be watching this like, girl, what's she talking about? Like, the vibe, like. But it's like the girls who get it. So, you know, I hate talking about it because I feel like it's embarrassing, but it's my truth, and my truth isn't embarrassing. Just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't happen. But I'm finding that balance between like having hope but also decentering it. Like I can't think about it. I have goals and aspirations that I literally can't afford to be stressed out by somebody's son. I just can't. Look at my skin. You see the way it's glowing? Yeah, nobody's gonna jeopardize nobody's gonna jeopardize that for me. So yeah, that one's been a new realization. I'm so proud of myself for it, because I'm just like, I want to remain open to the possibility, but I'm no longer like, oh, like, I just, you know, it's wraps, cut it. So I don't know, I'm just trying to trust God, trust the timing, and realize that, like, you know, I'll have my turn if it's meant to be. And it sucks, it's so lonely sometimes, but I'm focused on me, and I have my goals that I'm working on, and I will be successful. And if I never ever experience it, at least I'll be my best self. So yeah. It kind of goes hand in hand with like the last one. Get a hobby. If you're literally losing your mind over a crush, I can guarantee that you have neglected a hobby or an interest of yours. And it's like, find something else to take up that mental headspace, okay? Find something to do by yourself. I've taken up dancing, I've taken up skating, walking, reading, pottery. There's so many things. Like, there's so many things. Knitting, crocheting, I don't know, like, there's just so many things. Like go find a hobby, stick with it, have something to unwind. If it's not work, if it's not school, if it's not, you know, your wellness, like, you should have something fun in the mix, like something you can do to decompress. So find a hobby. That might sound like, oh, go take a hike, but I'm for real, like, get a hobby. It's the key, because not only are you like getting better at something, you have a break, you have a breather, and you can literally meet people. And I'm not saying to go find a hobby with the intention of meeting people, but it just happens naturally. Like, you build friendships, you build relationships, and it's just amazing. Like, you're not gonna meet the people that you're meant to meet. Well, you will somehow, but it's like you're delaying the process by being in your house and being like, oh, I'm shy, and oh, I'm introverted. Like, yeah, so am I, but at some point it's like, you need to put yourself out there. You need to stop being so afraid of taking up space. You need to be seen, because you're worthy of that. So go find a hobby, get out of your house, and do things that are fun, because you deserve it. You deserve fun, you deserve joy, you deserve hobbies. Like, get a hobby. I'm telling you, that one, game changer, period. This one is also, it really could be controversial, because I even am still like, I don't know how I feel about this one, but basically, lower your expectations. Yep, you gotta lower your expectations of other people. You have to stop expecting yourself from other people, and realize, especially when it comes to your friendships, that they're gonna change. You are changing, you are growing, and your likes, your dislikes, your values, your perspectives may change. As you get older, they're less likely to change, but especially in your 20s, like, you're still young, you're still figuring stuff out. Everybody's also going through a lot at the same time. You're going through a lot, and other people are going through a lot. So you might be like, wow, why is this person not showing up for me? And the whole time, that's the best they can do with what they have. So it's just like, stop expecting, like some people are going to disappoint you because you're expecting the world out of them, and they don't have that to give. You might even be disappointing yourself because you're trying to be superwoman. It's just like, lower your expectations. I'm not saying lower your standards, I'm not saying lower, you know, your worth, like, nothing like that, but like, lower your expectations, and realize, especially within your friendships and relationships, that things are going to change, that people, like, your day ones might not be around. Like, you might have new people who ride for you and support you and show up for you more than the people who you think will, but like, such is life. And once you accept that, and once you realize that, and once you stop expecting yourself, especially if you're a giver, especially if you're a people pleaser, once you stop like realizing like it's literally not even about you, it's about other people, and just realize that like in this season that you might just have to expect less. It sucks to be like, oh, I'm not saying to go off the deep end, like, don't be like, oh, you can't trust nobody, or it's a nudie, but it's just like, to some extent, y'all, I'm realizing like, it's really just God you can trust. Like, everybody else will disappoint you. You'll even disappoint yourself. But it's just like, you know, oh, this one is hard. It's a really tough pill to swallow, but I feel like once you accept it, you can just vibe, because it's just like, oh, like people should show up for you. People should, in my opinion, I feel like we owe each other explanations. I feel like, you know, that's the decent thing to do, but not everybody views that. Not everybody thinks like you. You have to realize, like, some people will literally not see the same. Like, you might see something completely different than somebody else, and that doesn't mean that either of y'all are wrong. It just might not be that y'all are compatible. And realizing that you are coming out of touch or coming out of compatibility with people who you've had around you for years is hard. But it's like, you don't have to cut everybody off. Just lower your expectations and realize, okay, this friend might not be my ride or die, but we can be around each other. There's love there, there's history there, but don't let history with somebody give them an all access pass. Adjust your expectations accordingly to avoid disappointment. This world will try to harden you. Stay soft, stay loving, but adjust your expectations, because you'll save yourself some heartbreak. Do your part. I don't think you can maintain a friendship with somebody just on social media. Check in. I'm not a call you out the blue type of person unless we're locked in, but like, send a little voice note, send a little hey girl, hey boo, like, you know, not hey boo, but like, you know, relationships take work, and friendships are relationships, so do with that what you will. Exactly. I say this in almost all my videos too. Get a therapist, y'all. Therapy is vital. I can almost guarantee that, like, literally everybody needs a therapist, in my opinion. Like, especially people who are like older than you, like the older generation, the younger, like everybody needs to be in therapy. The world has just, it's just wild. Everything that we go through, you can't expect your friends to have all the answers. And honestly, it's like, I understand, like, you know, talk to God, but I feel like you can also talk to a therapist. Yeah. So it's like, these people are literally trained to detect patterns to help you unearth like things within yourself that might be causing you to stay in toxic cycles. Like, they're trained for that. And if you're like, well, I don't want to talk and tell nobody my business, there's other forms of therapy. You think that therapy is just having somebody listen to you like a homegirl? No, it's not. It's having somebody help you deconstruct things that you need to unlearn. It has somebody challenge your perspective and tell you when you're in the wrong. Like, it's having somebody who's not super close to the issue have an outside objective view, you know? Like, I would recommend therapy to everybody, and I feel like it's the reason why I become better at expressing myself, better with my boundaries. Like, I've had to really talk through some traumatic things that have happened to me, and I'm grateful for that listening ear that also helps me to change my perspective and process these very hurtful things that I've gone through. And so I'm gonna say it every time: get a therapist. Like, get one ASAP. Practicing contentment. Like, once you find contentment and knowing that what you have right now is enough, if you're watching this video somehow, some way, I'm pretty sure you have an electronic device, which means that you're doing okay. You might not be where you want to be, but you are somewhere. You are blessed, you are fortunate, yeah, I can almost guarantee that. So if you're not, I'm sorry for that, and I pray things get better. If I can be of assistance, y'all let me know. But I'm saying, like, realize, like, you don't need to buy the latest iPhone. You don't need, like, I have an Apple ecosystem. I really don't need everything. I want the Apple over-ear headphones. I don't need them. I have AirPods, I have a Mac, I have an iPad, I have an iPhone, I have an Apple Watch. I don't need more. You know what I'm saying? Like, be content with what you have. I'm just a girl, so I like to spend. I like to go to Sephora, and that's not gonna stop. But it's just like, sometimes go and just window shop. Sometimes get the sample instead of the full size, you know? Like, sometimes, like, realize, like, you don't need another $50-$60 foundation. Like, you have 5 that you're not even done with. Like, practice contentment. Realize that you don't need the next big thing. And this is wild for me to say as an influencer, because it's just like, obviously part of my job is to, like, show you my real recommendations, which would ultimately lead in you purchasing from my links. But it's just like, also use your discernment. You don't need the latest anything, especially as I was just getting out of college and, like, trying to find myself and trying to experiment with beauty and all of that. Like, I was just buying. I was trying to, like, that was when the soft girl, soft life, whatever, first, like, came out. Black girl luxury. I don't know if y'all remember that era, but I was overspending, spending beyond my means, and I wish I could go back and be like, girl, you don't even need all that. Like there's always going to be the newest something, and if you're not happy with what you have, you're just going to be buying. You're going to be, you know, maxing out your credit cards. You're going to be in debt and unhappy because you're not even liking the stuff at this point. It's just for the thrill of it. It's just for, oh my gosh, I have a package coming. And sometimes you need that. Like, sometimes you need that. You need something to look forward to. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, do that, but also learn when and how to be content, you know? Everything is temporary. If you run up that credit card, you can run it all the way back down, but like, you don't want to have to keep on doing that. You know, the system is a scam. You know, when you pay it off, your credit card, your credit score goes down or whatever, but that shouldn't be a justification for you to be in massive debt. Get smarter about your money. Like, build a budget. I talked about this in my last reset video, so make sure you check that out. But like, just understand that you are approaching adulthood, or you are an adult. You might be like a baby in adulthood, but you're still like, you are responsible for your financial decisions for the most part. So get smarter about them, and that starts with just not spending so much money, you know? This one's about your career. I am so blessed to have my job, but I'm also replaceable. And once you realize that, especially in corporate, it's like they love you. If you know, if you have a great team and you're blessed to have some good work-life balance and you love your team and they love you, that's all amazing. But if you have to leave the job, you will be replaced. You're replaceable only in this one area though. So it's just like, you know, keep a corporate brag sheet of like your wins, so that when it's time for that review and that raise, you can document and cite everything you've been doing to get that money, but also realize that, you know, you're replaceable. So I don't know, it's just like a balance. Take your PTO, take time off. You storing up your time for a day that might never come is crazy. Take your PTO. Don't be OD, but like, you know, take some time. Like, you don't need a special reason to take PTO. If you need a rest day, you take that rest day. Because again, if you're working yourself to the ground and then you're in a place where you can't work, they'll literally replace you. So you don't get a badge of honor for suffering, especially at work. Like, you honestly get a badge of honor for being yourself, or well, you get a badge of honor for socializing and being well liked and talking and participating and being good at your job. But it's just like, your relationships matter more than your performance sometimes, and that's just the fact of the matter in corporate specifically. But yeah, it's just like, take it seriously, but not OD is what I'm trying to say. You don't want your like whole life's identity to be wrapped up in your job, because it can be gone just like that. We know the market is just uncertain. Like, always make sure you're being mindful with your check, you're saving. You know, if you can have another like stream of income, do it. Like, you want to be productive and to move up in your career, but don't put all your eggs in one basket, basically, is what I'm saying about that. I'm team quit a job. Like, if you have the financial means to do so, and it's like it's a job that's negatively impacting your physical, mental, or spiritual health, quit. Like, you are more important than like, I just take health and wellness so seriously, y'all. I don't play like that. And my last job, it wasn't necessarily a hostile work environment, but it was just not conducive to what I wanted to be. I was feeling really misaligned mentally, and I was being overworked and underpaid for sure. And it's just like, I had a master's degree at the time. Well, I still have a master's degree, but I had just gotten my master's degree, and it was just not the work environment I wanted to be in. And it was crazy of me at the time to quit, but I did. And I've gotten so many benefits. I've gotten able to find my passion, pursue my dreams. I've literally naturally lost weight because I didn't even realize how the stress and just like the lack of time, because you're commuting an hour and a half, 2 hours to and from because of traffic. You're sitting down all day. Like, just the fact that I can get up and move, and I can take walks, and I can take breaks, and I can travel, and I can create content for my job now, that wouldn't have happened if I just was like, no, I'm gonna sit down and suck it up. Like, you get to create your life, and you get to decide what you will and will not put up with. So apply that same energy to your career. Always be respectful, maintain relationships. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Your spiritual growth, like, for me, I feel like I had to rebuild my relationship with God, not out of just like habit or routine or my childhood, but just like getting that personal relationship and realizing that, like, although some of the people in church can be the meanest, nastiest, rudest people, they are supposed to be good representatives of God, but like, you know, sometimes they're not. And getting over that church hurt, it's still a process. It's still something that I'm doing, but like, you know, I've been blessed enough to find like a church home that I really like. And I don't go all the time. Sometimes I'm virtual. Like, I'm a work in progress. I'm not the perfect Christian. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying that, like, in being intentional with my walk with God, like finding friends that'll do Bible plans with me, doing my own Bible plans, like listening to gospel in the mornings, like, saying my affirmations and having my affirmations rooted in scripture, that's like that, you know, I'm fearfully and wonderfully and beautifully made, and nobody can take that away from me, okay? So it's just like little things, little habits. And I've noticed it like in times of triggers when I would like crash out. Sometimes lately I've been noticing like my initial reaction to be like, okay, clearly God is up to something, like, you know, it's in the little things. So I'm not perfect, I mess up, God's still working on me. But you glow different, you walk different, and you have what they be calling it, Godfidence. And you know that your dreams can become a reality when you are grateful and expectant in your faith. So I just say, you know, just me personally, I can't I saw a tweet that was like, adulthood will turn you into a prayer warrior whether you like it or not. And it's just like, yeah, you gotta stay prayed up. Life, friendships, relationships, work, personal health, family, friends, like everything that's going on, I literally can't do it without God. So that's my belief, and that's how I move. And so I'll just say that and leave it at that, period. This one I really like because I've been doing this a lot more. It's experimenting with your style, finding your style. I want to be a fashion girly, and I've always like worn colors. Well, not always, because I was like, black is slimming, and I'm just want to hide and be in black. That was in my like high school young, just, oh, I just would love to just hug her and tell her, you're gonna be okay, babes, but like, wear color, you deserve to be seen. But now in like my I don't even know, my early to mid 20s for now, I'm just finding out my style, y'all. I love my hair. It's very different for me, but I wanted to try it. I wanted to pierce my ears, so I did. I love them. I feel like the fall especially is a great time to like experiment with your style. Like you can layer things. You could do like, you know, a skirt and stockings. You could do like the casual Uggs and like the two-piece set. Like experiment with your style, change up your hair, wear different accessories, like, you know, try almond nails if you're like a tapered square girly. I don't know, just find your style by experimenting, because you get to, like, it's a part of you and you get to decide and create yourself. And I think that's so beautiful. And I think that it's something that, at least like when you're sure of yourself, or you're like figuring out how to be sure of yourself, like that's a way to like calm down. Like you don't care as much about what other people are saying when you're like, well, I'm trying something new and I like it. So if they don't like it, it doesn't matter, because it's not on them. Are they wearing it? Is it their body? Is it their hair? Is it their ears? Is it their nails? No, it's mine and I like it, so I'm good. So it's like another layer of confidence that comes from like finding your style, because you just am like, yeah, I look like that girl because I am that girl, period. So yeah, I have a folder, y'all. It's called I'm So Pretty, and I have pictures of it from literally even back in high school, because I'm so pretty. And sometimes when I'm like, wow, like nobody likes me, it's like, nope, well, I'm so pretty, so nobody sees that, that's on them. But me personally, I think I know that I'm so beautiful inside and out, fearfully, wonderfully, beautifully made, and face card never declines. So yeah, having that album has helped me, and it's just like finding my style has helped me as well. Be mindful of what you consume. I'm being literal, but I'm also being figurative. So with literally, it's like, I used to be an iced coffee, one little dessert kind of girl, and that was horrible for my cortisol, horrible for my blood sugar levels, like just horrible in general. If you're like, oh, why am I having anxiety? Is it maybe because you decided to have a shaken espresso and a cookie for breakfast at 1 p.m. and you've been, you know, surviving on that for all day? Like, let's be for real. So me being intentional with having a protein-packed breakfast that is like protein packed, plant forward, just like being mindful about my meals, making sure they're balanced, making sure they're colorful. That's me being mindful of what I consume, because it makes me feel better, and it's also been helping me see results in my wellness, especially with as I'm healing from PCOS. But also, your consumption is like, you know, the things you're watching, the things that you're listening to. You're grown, you get to decide what you watch and you listen to, but sometimes you might not even realize like how these things are affecting your mood. I had to stop watching Grey's Anatomy because I just found myself being sad. I was like, why am I so sad? It's because I'm freaking watching people die every day on Grey's Anatomy. It's like, I love that show, and I'm gonna have to tap back in because I heard Bailey slapped Jackson's mama. I have to see why, because I have to lock back in. But it's just like, you know, I also had to stop watching Criminal Minds for a while because I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, is there a serial killer? Like you have to realize that the things you're watching, the things that you're listening to could be affecting your mood subconsciously. And it's hard to make that realization, but it's just like, you know, you can have a system. Maybe you can't watch a marathon of Grey's Anatomy. Maybe you can watch a one episode and then follow it with Bob's Burgers or something, you know, just like be mindful. I used to be like, oh, it's not that deep. But as I get older, I realize literally everything is that deep. And if it affects me in any type of way, I have to just be mindful and make the necessary changes, you know? With music, like I had to stop listening to Summer Walker and SZA for a while because it was just reminding me of like past rejections and just like, it was just putting me in a negative headspace. I mean, I love them down, and sometimes when I'm in the mood, like they have some bangers for sure, but like, am I gonna go listen to I Wish I Was Special? That will never be in my library. Why she's talking about she's not special, I don't know what that's about, but I'm special, I'm chosen, I'm that girl. So I can't be listening or identify with that. But you know, like, be mindful, listen to these lyrics and be like, is this something I should be listening to? Is this something I want to be listening to? Is this gonna put me in the right headspace? Like, I have a playlist called I'm That Girl, feel good music that like I like, or I can imagine choreography because I love to dance and I have dance, I'm a dancer. And so like choreography that makes me feel like that girl. Like I just have a good playlist that makes me feel good. And it's just like, you need to adjust your playlist, then you need to adjust your playlist. It's simple like that, because everything is that deep is what I'm finding. So just like, if it's like, oh my gosh, well, I don't want to stop listening to all this stuff, I don't want to stop watching my favorite shows, it's just like, you can replace them. You can watch inspirational videos on YouTube from thatgirlchristelle. Or you can like listen to podcasts. On my ride home, I was like, man, I've been listening to a lot of music. Like, I love music, but I listen to music all the time. Sometimes I just need a break. Balanced Black Girl podcast by Les, I loved it, and it was so relevant to me, and I was so glad I listened to it. So like, find a podcast, like find a new YouTuber, like you can replace, like, and eventually when you're in a better headspace, maybe you'll be able to like, you know, listen to that song or watch that show. But like, just be mindful and understand that if it's a temporary change, like it's a temporary change, but you have to put you first. Because yeah, I feel like I should have put this somewhere else, but also reading has been a game changer for me. It is a form of escape, but I'd rather escape through books than other things that could be unhealthy for me in my mind, body, or spirit, you know? If you don't want to watch something else or listen to something else, maybe pick up some books, listen to an audiobook. Like, that's another thing. I personally can't get into audiobooks, but I know a lot of people like that. So yeah. This is my last one, and it's more of like a life lesson, but basically the habit is the habit of acceptance. Accepting others for where they are, but really what I want to talk about is accepting yourself. Settling for things, tolerating things just because you don't want to appear like you care too much. You don't want to give the other person the satisfaction of knowing that they like hurt you or whatever. Like, this is your life. You need to up your boundaries and stop trying to like appeal to everybody. No is a full answer. You don't have to explain. You don't have to over explain. I feel like if it's somebody you care about and you want to give a rationale, do it. But you don't have to like always justify. If you don't want to go somewhere, you don't have to go. If you don't want to drink something, you don't gotta drink. Like, you don't want to go, don't go. Like, I'm just in this era of just like accepting yourself and realizing like, this is what I know about myself. I'm not gonna like this, so I'm not gonna do it. And that's that on that, period. You disrespect and reject yourself every time you say yes to something, someone, anything that you know you want to say no to. You're disrespecting yourself. You're rejecting yourself. In this life where people will disrespect and reject you, why are you doing it to yourself? It actually blows me the more I think about it. The club is not my vibe, never been my vibe, and it's very triggering for me because it's like people are on the prowl trying to find somebody, and it's like, what y'all looking for, I'm not gonna give you. But it is still like hurtful to me to be overlooked, like so blatantly overlooked. And so some of the homegirls want to go out, that's cool, do your thing. I'm not gonna be attendance. I'll be, you know, at the pre-game move or whatever, but I'm not going out with you. Like, I'll go to dinner, I'll you know, Taco Tuesday, I'll go to brunch, but y'all want to do something after that, I'm out. And that's okay. I used to be like, oh my gosh, that's so lame. Like, but I don't care about being perceived as lame. I care about protecting my peace. If you don't have the capacity to take something on, say no. Or say, I would love to, but I can't. I just don't have the capacity to do this right now. I'd rather you be honest than be like, yeah, pile it on. Like, of course I can do it. Because I know you want to be Superman, Superwoman, whatever. But like, you're not. And you don't need to be. Don't punish yourself for not being where you want to be, because that's discouraging. So you piling on the negativity, being like, and that's why you suck and you're just horrible, you don't do anything. Like, why would that motivate you? Like, you can't add on. Life is going to try and tear you down. Don't do that as well. Accept yourself for where you are and know that you will get to where you want to be. But sometimes you just have to apply more grace. When you're applying too much pressure, remember that you need to apply grace as well. Like I've talked about with friendships and stuff, some people are doing their best and their best might not be good enough for you, and that's no harm against them. But you also know you don't have to tolerate people disappointing you or not living up to your expectations. Just readjust, but also realize, like, if people are consistently disappointing you, like, you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to tolerate that, and they don't have to be around. Like, you can distance yourself, you can voice that, or you can literally move differently. I'm not saying move weirdly, but like move accordingly. Accepting others for where they are and knowing that that might mean that your circle gets a little smaller, that you might be spending more time by yourself, but it's time well spent. Opposite of acceptance is rejection. And rejection sucks. I've been through it with jobs. I've been through it with people. I've been through it with so much, but I'm learning to love it because I'm realizing it's literally redirection. It's so crazy. The cliches are actually true, y'all. It's just like what I thought I wanted, I want no parts of. Like, if it hasn't come to me, it's been me being protected. And that's been so evident in so many ways. Like, and you might not ever get to know, but it's so amazing when you get to the other end and you see, oh wow, I really didn't want that job, or I really didn't want that person. Like, I deserve the best. And sometimes when you're God's favorite, that means that he's gonna shut things down that you might think you want, but in the end, literally everything is working out for your good. And knowing that, believing that, trusting that, and moving like that is a game changer. Because once you accept yourself, it doesn't matter who or what rejects you. Like, you're a winner and you win at the end. Yeah, victory is yours. It's beautiful when you walk like that and you know that. It's like amazing. So don't forget. So that's my video. These are like the micro habits and lessons learned that I'm just like, you know, things that I would tell you if I wanted you to just feel better as you navigate your 20s. I hope that you found this helpful. If you're in the same boat, if you could relate, if you want to talk about them, definitely let's chat in the comments. As I've told you before, I'm not going to talk the talk and not walk the walk. So definitely stay connected with me on Instagram, TikTok at thatgirlchristelle.xo. And if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, check out, you know, the template, check out my Sephora Squad testimonial link. Remember, it's about small changes. They'll all add up and help you get to where you want to be. Like, your success is literally inevitable, so keep showing up, keep on doing the things. You're watching these videos because you're on the right track. I'm telling you right now, like, you're gonna win, you're gonna succeed. It's inevitable as long as you don't give up. Like, literally, much love always. I can't do what I do without you. So thank you so much for watching. If you found this impactful, please share it with somebody. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.